Hello everybody and welcome to the very first episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. And as you can see today on our very first episode, we are going to be taking a closer look at the Hasbro Toys R Us exclusive Transformers Masterpiece Thundercracker. This is an awesome figure. It's one that I've been on the fence about for quite a while. I've just now more recently got back into the Transformers line. And if you listen to episode 9 of our podcast, and we did our top toy lines from the 80s, the top 5 toy lines from the 80s, you guys will know that I had to bounce Transformers in lieu of Masters of the Universe. So I took a lot of heat. You know, everybody was like, oh, Mark doesn't like Transformers. No, I love Transformers. I really do. And so the first few of these videos that we're going to do, these first video transmissions, I think we're going to focus solely on Masterpiece Transformers so that I can recapture that G1 Transformer love for my fans out there. So this is just going to be me this time, no Randall. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get this guy opened up and we're getting him checked out. But before we get him opened up, I do want to point out one thing. I'm not going to take too much time to show the package off too much other than to show this one little item right here on the package where you'll notice it says 2 different heads. This is actually a holdover from MP11 Starscream, who had 2 different heads. And he actually didn't even have 2 different heads. He had 2 different faces. You could switch them around. But this is actually a holdover from that. This figure actually doesn't have two faces or 2 heads or anything like that. So a little bit of a misnomer there. So if that's going to be the one detail that sort of puts you over the fence on this guy, that feature is actually not included. So let's get this guy opened up and see what he's all about. Okay, here we have Thundercracker open and out of his package, and as you can see, he is very, very impressive. Now, you can scour YouTube and you can find much better, more in-depth reviews than the one I'm going to give here today. This is by no means going to be exhaustive. I'm not even going to show like the transformation process. There's far better videos out there for that. So be sure to check those out. But I just wanted to point out a couple of things about this figure that, you know, having watched a bunch of other videos and a bunch of other reviews, things I haven't heard other people talk about. So I just want to point those things out now. And one of those things is that very rarely do I see anybody show Thundercracker actually on his stand in a robotic pose or in a vertical pose. Most everybody shows the base with Thundercracker on it in jet mode. So I just wanted to point out that you can actually, I'm going to rotate this around, hopefully you can see it, you can actually put the little clear armrest here, the figure stand, you can actually put it up in a vertical position. And right here on the very back, on like his little robo booty, there's a little gray peg, and it plugs into a little white hole at the very top of this arm. And also right here, and you'll be able to see this a little bit better later when I have him in jet mode, there's a little seat that he kind of like sits on. So you can actually get him in hover mode where he's up off of the base in hover mode. You can have his little knee bent, and that looks pretty cool. So that's one of the things. And the other thing I wanted to point out is that in a few reviews, not all, but in a few of them, I've actually seen where people do not include the missile pods that are on each side on his wings. I actually saw one review online where the guy said they don't even fit on the figure, they only fit on the base, which I found very odd. Why would they include these missiles if they don't actually attach? So you can actually leave them on underneath the wings. You would have to rotate them, or no, I guess you do have to kind of pop them off altogether to lay these flaps down, but then just plug them right back on. I think they look really cool. I think he looks like he's really decked out with a ton of armaments, and I think he looks really great. So let's get him spun back around here real quick and talk about some of the other points about this figure. You can see that his hands are articulated at the index finger and the thumb, but the other 3 fingers are sort of, they're articulated but all together, so you can get him in really good like pointing gestures and things like that. I just want to pick the camera up real quick. Sorry to do this handheld, but I really want to get in here close on this head sculpt and show you. This is a really, really nice figure. The turbines right here in the front look amazing on the chest. You can see the cockpit. I don't have the pilot in there now. I'll show him to you in a little bit. You can actually keep him in the cockpit while he's transformed. The ion blasters on the side look great. The face is really cool. Let's see if I can show you this on camera. The vents actually are spring loaded, and the head's on a ball joint, so you get a lot of articulation. But as you can see, there's no other face or head and underneath here or anything like that. Not like the Masterpiece Rodimus where there was a face changing option. But as you can see, the side vents are on a spring loaded. They have a little spring loaded action, and that's so that you can move the head back and forth through this whole assembly while transforming him. I'm glad that they added that because, the Secret Jets are just not the Secret Jets if they don't have those side vents. Yeah, he looks great. And the other thing you can do is right underneath the turbines, these actually lift up and reveal chest missiles. So that is really neat as well. This whole assembly doesn't really lock down very well, so you have to be very kind of careful when posing him and moving things around in this whole area here. But man, what an impressive figure. This guy looks so awesome. Like I said, I have been on the fence about this guy, but man, I'm not sure why. He looks great. His colors are really striking. I actually have the Optimus Prime MP10 coming next week, so we could do a size comparison then. But I have some like repro label orders that I'm going to do and for Masterpiece Optimus, and I was actually thinking about going ahead and picking up some for this guy too. But after getting him in hand, I don't think I am, because I think the only labels that you can get from repro, they attach here on these two pieces, maybe here on the thighs. I don't remember for sure, but also up in this area. And I think they're like $16 for the repro label set. I don't think I'm going to pay that for this guy. I think he's well painted enough for me to not go that route. And I think they also include the Decepticon logos, which I'm not sure why, because these actually are already included, unless they're for a Japanese set. I'm not sure. But yeah, this guy looks amazing. I'm so glad to get him in hand. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get him transformed and get him in jet mode, and we'll wrap this thing up. Okay, now here we have him in jet mode. As you can see, he now rests on. He's resting on the arm in the horizontal position. If you can see right here is the peg, actually the hole where the little gray peg on his bottom actually goes into. This is the seat where he was sitting when he was in vertical mode. So that's what that little piece is here. There are two holes, one here and one here on the base, where you can actually take his missile pods off. You can store them here on the base. Looks pretty cool, but again, they look so awesome while being on him. I can't bring myself to take them off. This is a very impressive jet mode. So much so, this may be how he actually sits on my shelf. You'll notice the D24, which I believe was the original Starscream designation in the Japanese mold. And a few things, a couple paint apps I want to point out. Let's see if we can turn a little bit where you can see, like right here, doesn't really, there we go. See if we can bend that down a little bit. You can see where it says Captain J. Dragon Sass, and I thought that was something that was on certain Thundercrackers, and then other ones had a different name. But they actually have two different names written on the side. You can see right here where it says Lieutenant Commander Joe Big Daddy Kide. I did Google these names, and I believe Joe Kide was like an artist who worked on the original. Who, I don't know. Does he work on like the new comic series, or maybe he's a new designer for Hasbro? I'm not sure, and I haven't Googled this guy here, but I'm pretty sure they are more than likely some artists that work at Hasbro, or in some fashion work with the Transformers line. As you can see, the little pilot that he comes with actually does sit inside the cockpit, which is really cool. And you can actually leave him in, even when in his alternate Transformer mode, his robot mode, he's there as well. You'll also get, with Thundercracker, this little, underneath here, you can store it when not in use, but you get this little blue, this little blue circular clip, and it goes right here underneath the nose cone. Kind of sits right in there. And from what I understand, you could put the original Starscream, actually came with the Megatron in his pistol form, and I think it clipped on underneath here. The other thing you can do with the nose is you can pull the nose outward, so we can do this, and then bend it back, and you can reveal the radar assembly underneath here, which is kind of cool. You just flip that back around and then push back in. And this thing, I'll never use it, so for them to give you a little place to store it underneath, right there, it's kind of cool. So that's where that little guy will live until it's lost. A couple things here, as people have pointed out in other reviews. If you look right here on the side, you'll see a little paint app. This is, as you can see, it looks like a reflector, and it says "Say Cheese." This little paint app is actually on both sides. You can see it here as well. That's pretty cool. This is maybe this is their way of hinting that a Masterpiece reflector is coming soon. That'd be kind of cool. One I'd probably pass on, but cool nonetheless. And right here at the back, you can see what looks to be a secret jet holding Soundwave. And if Masterpiece Starscream was MP11, MP12 is Sideswipe, and we know that MP13 is Soundwave, and he'll be coming soon. So I think that's a neat little way of advertising him, that he is coming soon. This is one amazing jet figure. Here, we'll take a look at the top. The detailing in here is way cool. Love the huge Decepticon symbols here, bright purple, outlined in silver. It's really nice. And also you do get a couple of die-cast parts, so the little air brake that you can pop up. This is actually die-cast in here. So that's kind of cool that detail's there. One thing I won't take the time to show, but just to point out, is that right here on each foot is a fold-out landing gear, and right here underneath the nose cone is another pull-out landing gear. But he looks way cooler in jet mode, so I can't imagine that I'd ever really have a need to pull those out. But it's cool that they included them nonetheless. A view from the back. Very nice. Alright, so, like I said, I had been on the fence about this figure. I'd seen him at my Toys R Us for, more than a month now, and it was just like, man, do I really want to get... Thundercracker's not my favorite of the Secret Jets, but, when I come to think about it, I'm more than likely never going to get my hands on a Starscream or a Skywarp even. So I would like to have a Secret Jet in my collection, my Masterpiece collection, and you know what? His colors are great. They're awesome, and they're growing on me. So I think that's going to basically do it for this video transmission. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe to our channel. We've got more of these planned, and as always, you can find Ungrownups on Facebook.com/Ungrownups. You can find our podcast, a new episode every 2 weeks on iTunes, or you can just visit Ungrownups.com.